Wait, has that... Hold on. Hmm. Did I have to select that stream for it to actually work? Am I very quiet? I might be very quiet at the moment. Wow, there is a buzzing noise when I speak. There's a really annoying buzzing noise when I speak. Well, that's a bit irritating, isn't it? That there's a buzzing noise. Bzzz. What if I turn off the noise gate? Is it just a permanent buzzing? That's awful to listen to. Hmm. Noise suppression. What if I put on noise suppression? What's that done? Has that fixed it? Has that made it sound better? I hope so. La la la. Hold on, if I turn off the music. How does that sound now? Is there still a buzzing noise every time I speak? Because if there is, that'd be really annoying, wouldn't it? That would be annoying. Right, I've turned off. There is a bit of a buzzing noise, isn't there? But why do I sound like that? Um, compressor, three-band equalizer. What the hell does any of this do? What's a three-band equalizer? What is it? Hold on. Where is... What is three-band... Duh. Okay, let me just mute that. Put the music back on. There we go, that's better. How do I resolve any of this? Three-band equalizer. In... What is a three-band equalizer? In OBS. Whoa. Whoa. Without needing... It's an EQ. Of course it's an EQ. Can I just mess around with it? Let's spend a bit of time messing around with the noises. Let me put myself back on. I'm on. A low? What if I put the low all the way down to minus 20 dB? What is that going to do? The low is now down. The low is now down. What do I sound like with the low? See, I have to keep speaking while I'm listening. That sounds weird. Okay. Now the medium. Now the mid is down. Mid is down. Minus 20 dB. Mid is down. Now I'm putting the mid back up. Mid is now back up. Now I'm putting the high down. I feel insane. Now I'm putting the high down. Oh, wow. Mid sounds weird when mid is down. Mid is back up. High is down. Hi, back up. What if I just wibble the settings a bit? Okay, there we go. Everything's been wibbled. How does this sound? Everything has been wibbled. Oh, that buzzing's back. Everything has been wibbled. That sounds weird. It sounds weird. I need to mess around with this at my own time, I think. RN noise. Noise gate? V-band equalizer? What else is there? Compressor, expander, gain, invert polarity limiter? Upward compressing? VST. What would be the best filter to get rid of background buzzing? What would be the best filter to get rid of the background buzzing? Noise suppression, yes. It's the only built-in filter that actually detects and removes steady noises like electrical buzz. PC coil whine. What's a PC coil whine? Fan hum, a low-level interference. The buzzing is constant. It adapts automatically. Like a hum. Use noise suppression. A noise band. 3-band EQ, low minus 6 dB. Okay, what's that done? Low minus. And then high minus 6 dB. Okay, what's that done? How does that sound now when I speak? Wow, that buzzing is quite bad. How does that sound? Does that sound alright? Is that just the limitations of my technology? The limitations of the hardware that I have surrounding me. Ah! Okay. Let's just leave that as is and let's just put the music back on. Ah! Let's turn you off. Okay. Let's do what I came here to do. Maybe? Laomoa. 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 He turned to look at Ral. I'm looking for someone to take me out to Lake Island, Ral said to the young man. He turned to look at Ral, all while continuing to sort through the net. Messy black hair was swept back over his head and olive-tanned skin stuck to his skinny frame. We weren't looking to go back out again, the man said through a thick local accent. Are you sightseeing? Galpica has a better beach. Ral shook his head. I'm interested in the local area of Laika. Would you be able to take me out there? I can pay. The man's eyes drifted to Ral's satchel, hanging from a shoulder strap at his side, and a smile spread. Hanging from his shoulder. Hanging from his shoulder at his side. Hanging from his shoulder at his side, then a smile spread across his face. Doesn't need to then. A smile spread across his face. You're in luck. It's not too far to go, and I haven't got anything planned today. I'll give you a ride, but I won't charge. He looked up towards the sky. There wasn't a cloud in sight. It's nice weather for a boat trip. Touched his hand, Ral shook it. The name's Glail. I'm going to set off in about an hour. Ral said. It was closer. in about half an hour. It was closer to an hour before Glale and his boat was ready to set off. Were ready? Close to an hour before Glale and his boat were ready to set off. So what do I want to happen in this story? I don't really know. Can I write this story at the moment? Like, do I need to stand up? Let's stand up and walk around. What do I want to happen? What do I want to happen? And why do I need to understand this difference between talking to someone and talking to myself, and then talking to myself as if I'm talking to someone? Because right now I'm just talking to myself, and I'm talking how I would talk to myself. Right. There's definitely a shift, because I was at work earlier. Let's imagine I'm talking to... I've got to imagine I'm talking to someone, rather than talking to myself. Let's talk to me. I'm someone. Let's talk to the little guy, the little mushroom. That's me. So, little mushroom man. I did a presentation earlier at work. And I did a presentation earlier. Oh. And during that, talking during the presentation was very different to talking like how I'm talking now. I don't quite understand why I have this difference. Where does this difference come from? Where does the difference come from? I don't know what I'm doing right now. Am I warm? Let me tell you, it's so warm in this room already. And the heat has only just started. Like, what is it? Oh, I've rubbed my eyes. It's 23. Okay, that's not that warm. Oh, I've rubbed my eyes. No, I've got hay fever. Rubbing my eyes is the worst thing I can do. Because it just makes me feel so much worse. I went to the shop and I bought just so many hay fever tablets. I've got two types. I've got fexofenadine hydrochloride, and I've got cetirizine. Fexofenadine and cetirizine hydrochloride. And I'm hoping that one of these two will be stronger than the other. And then I'll know which one to take. From the antihistamine group of medicines to treat the symptoms of hay fever. Can also be used to treat raised red itchy skin. Oh. Well, if I ever get raised red itchy skin, I know what I need to take. Fexofenadine tablets start to relieve your symptoms in 1 hour and last for 24 hours. Okay, well I had a fexofenadine this morning from a prior packet they already bought. So I will not take any more, because that would be irresponsible. I'm here to write, not to take tablets. So what was I doing? What did I want to have next? It was closer to an hour before Glale and his boat were ready to set off. Let's have them chat during that time. During that time, Ral had learnt a lot about this. Had learnt a lot. Is a lot? A lot? Had learned a lot. Ral had learned a lot about this fisherman. Is that good? Ral had learned a lot about this fisherman. I went to... I've written one sentence and I'm ready to go on a tangent. I went to... So I am going to Greece in a few days. How exciting is that? All the way to Greece And I got money out. I got some euros. I changed some euros to I think I got 300 euros out from the thing, from like a currency exchange. So 300 euros in cash to take with me, because we need to pay. There's an amount that we need to pay for a deposit for a rental car. That's about half that amount, and then of course I want money to tip with, because it just feels so bad. Because if you're in these restaurants and you just don't have the local currency, because you pay by card everywhere now, just pay by card. And so at least want to have some cash that I can tip with, because God, I feel so bad when I'm at a place and I don't leave a tip. Is it America where tipping culture, you have to tip, otherwise you get threatened? But this is Greece. I don't know what the tipping culture is like, but I assume that they're accustomed to tourist tipping. So I want to have some money to tip. And also, there's probably going to be places that don't take card, aren't there? There's always places that don't take card. Places that prefer cash. So it's always a good idea to travel with some cash. So I've got enough out for me to tip and to spend on little things that don't need cash. And then there's the rest for the deposit. That has to be in cash. For the car. For some reason, has to be cash. We rented a car in Croatia. And when they rented us the car, they said that they themselves had filled up the tank. And then they charged us the price for a full tank. I mean, that's not what they that's normally, isn't it, that you're expected to return a rental car with a full tank. And then the tank that comes with the car is courtesy. Because I bet what happens is people don't return. I was with my dad and he made sure that he used every single last bit of petrol in the car before he returned it. We were driving back to the airport and we had like 30 kilometers left, and it said that we had 70 kilometers left from the tank, and then it just stopped reporting how many kilometers we had left. As we were getting closer to the airport, my dad, I could see, was just getting more and more nervous behind the wheel, because he was visibly worried about running out of petrol and not making it to the airport. Because it said we have like 70 kilometers left, 70 kilometers of fuel left, 30 kilometers left to go until we get there, and then 29 kilometers until we get there, unknown amount of fuel left. And the stress that caused. He was driving along, he was like biting his nails, gripping the steering wheel, tapping his leg. There was music playing, he was like, I can't have the music. He had to turn the music off. We made it though. So he made sure that this company got the least amount of petrol possible that they could have done back. Because I bet that not everyone does. I bet everyone returns it with maybe like a half tank, or maybe some people are so accustomed to returning with a full tank that they do just return with a full tank. And then this rental company probably just gives the car to the next person, and then charges them for the full tank, stating that they themselves filled it all up, even if they maybe filled up half of it, or maybe 2/3 of it. So that's definitely them making a bit of money on top of that. But I guess I don't mind. We made sure we got our money's worth by returning the car with absolutely no petrol in it at all. I don't think this Greek one is like that. I think the Greek one, it's going to give us the petrol courtesy full, and then we're expected to fill it up when we return it. But we do also have to give them a load of cash as a deposit. We've got some cash for that. And I always feel so nervous. I remember doing this last time when I went to Sicily and I got cash. With that amount of cash in my pocket, just walking back, just going past all the local denizens of my town, all the fine, upstanding people. Some of the people that you walk past on the street just do not look friendly. is how I will describe them. They're not people that I would like to engage in a conversation with. They're people that I think I would very much like to avoid. And then having to walk past them with that amount of money in my pocket. Oh, I was so nervous. But I made it. I made it back. I did the 10-minute walk. The 10-minute walk back from the the money exchange place back to my flat. I'm alive. No one was able to sniff out the amount of money that I had in my pocket. What was I doing? I wrote one sentence. During that time, Ral had learnt a lot about this fisherman. What had he learnt? That he's going to Greece and he's changing money? I don't think so. So what else could he be learning? It was closer to an hour before Glail and his boat were ready to set off. During this time, I don't know, this or that, which is the best? During this time, Ral had learnt a lot about this fisherman. He was... What was the name of the... Oh yeah, Laomoan. He was a Laomoa local. Born and raised here. He was a Laomoa local. Born and raised here. His father is a fisherman, and his father before him. His father and his father before him. And his father before him, who passed away 3 summers ago, was also a fisherman. The boat that Ral prepared to climb into. Thank you, spell check. The boat that Ral prepared to climb into was passed down into had been passed down through the family. Had been passed down through the family. Did I get the plot points on the bottom? Yeah. The boat that Ral prepared to climb into had been passed down through the family. Does every boat have a name? Yes. Let's say yes, this boat should have a name, because every boat has a name. Therefore, this is a boat, and so it deserves a name. I think my logic is holding up there. The boat had been passed down. Maybe I should have the name of the boat here. The Sea Treader, no. Noctical. Do you tickle my noctils? No. What's a good name for a southern sounding boat? Why did the word placenta come into my head? That's not a good name for a boat. I'm not naming it placenta. Come, get onto my placenta. What if the name is my placenta? Climb onto. My placenta. No. My hope. My hope. The boat that Ral prepared to climb onto had been passed down through the family. It currently belongs to Lael's father. But Glale mostly used it these days. But it was Glale who mostly used it these days. My hope. What about my hope? Hope of the sea. What about that? Hope of the sea. That's kind of, I quite like that. Hope of the sea. That's quite a nice name, isn't it, for a boat? It's my boat, Hope of the Sea. Hope of the Sea, the boat that Ralph prepared to climb onto, had been passed down through the family. It currently belonged to Glale's father. Have I described the boat? A young man was stood in a small, well-kept boat, sorting through a large fishing net when Ral approached. Just recently, Glale had given it taken the boat out of the water, removed the barnacles that had built up on the underside. How long does it take for barnacles to build up on the underside of a boat? Let's have a look. How long does it take for barnacles to build up on the underside of a boat? Wait, is it quick? Whoa, barnacles can begin attaching to a boat's hull in as little as 1 to 2 weeks? Wow. Well, initial slime and lava appear within days. Lava? Lava? Wow, that's a lot of barnacles. On the side of a wooden... What about a wooden boat? Does that change anything? On a wooden boat. 1 to 2 weeks. They start as nearly invisible slime or larvae. They can form hard, difficult to remove shells in a month if the boat remains stationary. 2 weeks of barnacles. Okay, so they do barnacles. If the boat is frequently taken out, do barnacles build up? Okay, so do they build up on stationary boats? That's interesting. Taking a boat out frequently helps discourage barnacles from settling, but it does not completely prevent them if the boat is still kept in the water when not in use. Stagnant boats are prime targets for larvae. Larvae? Larvae. C'est larvae, c'est larvae. So staying active is a vital part of hull maintenance. Moving at speed helps wash off slime, algae, and larvae. And lava. Sorry, is it larvae? It looks like larvae. How do you pronounce this word? Larvae? Larvae? Larvae. Larvae. Okay. Larvae. And larvae before they can firmly bond to the hull. For the movement to be effective at self-cleaning, many sources suggest you need to exceed 17 to 30 knots. I don't think a rowboat would do that much. Yes. A rowboat would not. Okay, I think a rowboat would build up barnacles. Just recently, Glale had taken the boat out of the water, removing the barnacles that had built up on the underside, and added a fresh coat of white paint. He had gleefully shown off his handiwork to Ral. He had gleefully shown off his handiwork to Ral. Galeo also had an immense interest, or just a normal interest? Let's keep immense in for now. Had immense interest in where Ral had come from. Ral spent had spent a good portion of the time recounting his journey down from... Where did it come from? Dornester. Was it Nest with two N's? With two S's? With two R's is how I spelt it. Well, I spent a good portion of the time recounting his journey down from Dornester. Galael had listened, all while continuing to sort his net. Galael had listened, all while continuing to sort his net. Listened intently. Had intently listened? Yeah, maybe Glad had listened all while continuing to sort his net. Ugh. Why am I tired now that I've sat down? I'm feeling a bit weary. Weak and feeble. I'll try not to yawn. Bum, 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 bum. Da, 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 da. What am I doing? My mind just... I went into a daze for a moment there. I was like, just looked up out this window above my head and just like, and just completely zoned out. Am I tired? I might be tired. I'm always tired. What am I saying? Of course I'm tired. I basically live my life tired. Doesn't everyone? Do people wake up in the morning and be like, ah, that was such a refreshing night's sleep. I'm ready to go for the day. And then they're just full of energy the entire day through. Ah, I'm so tired. I've barely written anything. I wanted to write more. Am I already... I'm already worn out. How many words did I write? How many words have I written? 149! I've done nothing. I just burnt myself out on this. How? How? Okay, let's continue. Rather than writing all this, then, let's continue to plan out the story. Ral discovers a dormant creature that could destroy the village. Villagers learn of the creature. Villagers learn of the creature. I guess a question is, what is religion like in this village? So, this is a world where these beings that were worshipped as gods, whether they are technically gods or not, I guess that doesn't really matter, does it? Because what do you define as a god? Because every religion would have its own definition of a god, right? So does it matter what these beings are? All that matters is that they were revered as gods. Or maybe at the time they weren't revered as gods, but then since in their passing, it has built up to them to be revered as gods. Either way, there is definite proof that these people existed. And they walked the world. They walked the planet. So, what would that proof be? What is religion like in this village? Was it tabs? How did I get the... Oh, just a normal hyphen. Gods existed. Gods existed in the world. Is it where you say in the world, but you say on the planet? You don't say on the world. You don't say in the planet. You say in the world and on the planet. Isn't that weird? That's weird, right? That is weird. Gods existed in the world 2,000 years ago. You know, the same sort of age as Jesus was around, according to Christianity. Maybe not 2,000 years ago. What if we put it as 3,000 years ago? Ooh. There is proof. What could you have? What could you possibly have as proof, though? There is proof. Exclamation mark. Question mark. There is proof? What would the proof be? Artifacts? From... Okay. Magic is real. Right? Magic is real. Generic elemental stuff. Yada yada yada. Don't want to... It's not a complicated system, it's just like generic elemental stuff. Generic elemental stuff. Very rare. Passed down the bloodline in prominent families. Okay. Legends say that the gods brought magic. Legends say the gods brought magic. Science is underdeveloped. This is still... It's not like a medieval, but it's like a Victorian almost era. Like imagine Earth 1800s. Like early 1800s. When was like the beginning of... Like the Industrial Revolution is still quite a few years away. Let's have a look. What was technology like just before? What was technology like before the Industrial Revolution? Wow, it's almost as if it heard me. Get help with your toughest homework problems and more? Not now, thank you. Technology was powered by human, animal, wind, and water muscle. Huh? Water muscle? Focusing on artisanal craftsmanship rather than mass production. Tools were specialized, hand-operated, and manufacturing was decentralized, taking place in homes or small workshops rather than large factories. Yes. The cottage industry reigned. Workers used hand tools or small machines. Okay, so this is so we're cottage industry era. Manufacturing was primarily wood-based. Iron was expensive, brittle, and difficult to work with on a large scale. Okay. Energy was derived from muscle power, animals, people, water wheels, and windmills. Products were made by skilled artisans, blacksmiths, weavers, who created goods from start to finish. Okay, so it's a spinning wheel, a hand loom, water wheels. Okay, yeah, so it's this era. Hand-drawn? Horse-drawn carriages and sailboats. Information travel at the speed of a galloping horse. Basic metal tools like axes, hammers, saws, files, and chisels. Cottage industry. Cottage industry. A cottage industry is a small-scale, decentralized manufacturing business operating out of a home rather than a factory, often managed by family members or a few individuals. Yes. And so so skills are passed down through families, aren't they? Before the Industrial Revolution began, people produced goods in their homes. Individuals dealt directly with the suppliers of raw materials and merchants who sold their finished products. One person would perform all tasks associated with creating a product from start to finish. Upside, people could control their work schedules and easily address family needs. Downside, only adults can handle the hard manual labour, and a house fire or flood could ruin a family's livelihood. Quality of products varied widely. Yes. This era. Okay. This era of technology. Science is underdeveloped. Cottage core. Cottage industry. There is a city out there called Stellon, which is the start of an industrial revolution, but maybe this is even set before Stellon comes to power. Maybe Stellon is still just like a founding village at this part and isn't a powerhouse city of the north, as it will become. Whoa. So science is underdeveloped. Education is limited. People are taught from family members and not institutions. So there's no... So what era is cottage industry? Cottage industry era? How do I go back to pre-Industrial Revolution? 17. What was education like in the 1700s? What was education like in the 18th century? Highly stratified, focused on classical studies, Latin, Greek for wealthy boys, and basic literature, numeracy, and accomplishments for sewing, like sewing for girls. There was no national system, relying on private tutors, grammar schools, or church-led charity schools with significant expansions. Okay. So, do buildings like churches exist in this world? I think not. I think I'd like to say that, well, maybe it varies from country to country and from religion to religion, but this religion, this village of Laomoa, needs a name. The local religion needs a name. Okay. What is the name of the religion? Oh, this is a big one. Vulgarism? No. Vulgarism. How to be vulgar? No, not V. Not V. How? Oh. Nope. Gort. Just call it Gort. I'd follow the religion of Gort. I am a believer of the Gort. No. Not Gort. Radish. Radish. Maybe not radish. Rimple. Maybe not Rimple. Fargo. Belissum. 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 Barlissum? Malissum. The religion of Malissum. Walisum? Lalisum. Malissum. Malissum. What does the religion worship? What does the religion worship? The forgotten gods. No, not the forgotten gods. The god of water. The god of water, fishing, Marlisum, the god of water. The god of water, fishing, and the god of water, fishing, and markets. Melisum. Maybe so it's just called Mal. Mal, the god of water, fishing, and markets. The god of water, fishing, crops. God of water, fishing, crops, healing, and so I guess this can go back to legends of what Mal did while they were on the world. And they controlled the element of water. They used to do fishing, they used to grow crops, they used to heal people. And they used to educate and education. Water, fishing, crops, healing, and education. And maybe it's if there's multiple gods, it's a pantheon type god. Pantheon type religion. And so there are multiple gods. Which means so we can have this as Sali, god of water, fishing, crops, and education, and then there can be like Malism, the worship of the 5 pantheon gods: earth, water, fire, air, and light. The god of darkness is seen as the root of all evil. Okay, so they have their main gods, they have their evil god. Sali, the god of water, fishing, crops, healing, and education. As a coastal fishing village, they mainly worship the god of water. As a coastal fishing village, they mainly worship the god of water. So, it is very much that these were just people back in the day. Back in the day, these were just people, immensely powerful people, but people nonetheless. And since that time, they have become deified to the point where they are worshipped like this. But do people have a place of worship? Or is it more that... oh, what if there isn't a building, but the village itself is treated as religious? There is no singular building of worship in the village. Instead, statues of, I guess, Sally is a statues of the goddess Sally have been built around the village. Crops healing, education, and charity. People leave offerings of excess materials and food at the base of the statues, and others who are less fortunate obtain them for themselves. Interesting, okay. So this is to worship. To perform any act or activity. There's no singular building or building of worship in the village. Instead, statues of the goddess Sally have been built around the village. People leave offerings of excess materials and food at the base of the statues, and others who are less fortunate obtain them for themselves. To perform any activity belonging to the goddess's domain is viewed as an act of worship. Worship is not something that the villagers do at a specific time. Worship is ingrained into their very lives. So just by living lives the way they live, that is their interpretation of worshipping the goddess. So that way there is no singular location where they go to worship, because that is not a concept that exists for them. By merely acting out, by merely living their life, by fishing, by growing crops, by educating, by giving charity, that is to them worship. Okay. Then what happens? So this community, education is not limited. There is a Local council runs school until the age 10. Okay. Cottage industry, there was a local council run school until the age 10. So it's not that all villagers donate to the school. Teachers volunteer. Paid by these donations. Okay. The gods brought magic, sounds like cottage industry. Artifacts of great power. Created by the gods exist. The village has never seen one. So there's these things. No one with magic lives in the village. So magic exists, artifacts of great power exist, but these things are just so exceedingly rare that they don't exist in this village. They're out there, they're known about, but no one here in the village has any of it. They merely believe in the gods. Because how could you not in this scenario? Where things like this do... Where things like this are real. Okay. So... what happens when a village like this discovers a magical creature happens when a village like this discovers a powerful magic creature? That could potentially pose a threat to the village. So, some villagers want to kill the creature. Some villagers want to protect the creature. Some villagers want to worship Some villagers want to worship the creature. What does it mean for this village to worship? I don't know. What does it mean? When did Chris say? 2 hours? Okay. There's still like another half an hour. Some villagers want to kill the creature, some villagers want to protect the creature, some villagers want to worship the creature. So the first two are very self-describing, but the third one, what does it mean for these villagers to worship a creature? So what does it mean for these villagers to worship a creature? So they don't have a place of worship, because to them worship is doing the acts that their god is the patron of. So maybe protect and worship are the same thing in their eyes? to protect it is to worship it, and to worship it is to protect it. Even if do they believe what if people believe that everything that the creature does is something that should not be interfered with? Like, as in, if this creature wants to eat them, then that is something that the creature should do. And by allowing the creature to eat you, that is worship. Is that too extreme? That feels very extreme. If the creature wants to ignore you, then allowing it to ignore you is to worship the creature. If the creature wants to help you, allowing it to help you is to worship the creature. And if the creature wants to kill you, to allow it to kill you is to worship the creature. So what does it mean to protect the creature then? I guess people don't really know, do they? To worship the creature. What does it mean for these villagers to worship the creature? There's a lot of thinking that needs to go on right now. And oh my god, my brain. My poor brain. I've had such a day. Such a day of not really sleeping. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to go to Croatia. Not Croatia, I've been to Croatia. I'm very excited to go to Greece. I want to see the Acropolis. Someone was telling me that there is a build height restriction in Athens. So all restaurants that have rooftop terraces have a clear view of the Acropolis because of a build height restriction in Athens, and that's just incredible. That's such an incredible achievement of engineering. It's like that, is it Primrose Hill in London, where you can always see Westminster Abbey from it, so you're not allowed to build anything that would obscure the view? The fact that laws like that exist and have continued to be upheld despite the rampant capitalism that rampages, rampant capitalism rampaging, is just incredible. I'm so excited to go. The weather's going to be incredible, the food's going to be incredible, the scenery's going to be incredible. Oh, I should spend. While I'm there, I want to learn as much as I can about the Greek Parthenon? No, the Greek Pantheon. That's the term. Learn about the Pantheon. Because then that can very much inspire this one. Wizards of the Coast confirms that Cthulhu is coming to D&D. That's crazy. That's wild. That's insane. That's absurd. Is that too much? Maybe not. We love Cthulhu. Our big tentacle boy. Bum 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 bada bum 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 bum. I've got to restring a guitar as well. Should I try and do that now? No. No, that's such a big job, isn't it? For something I've never done before. I need to go find those cutters. Dun, 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 dun. Oh! Am I done? Am I worn out? I think I'm worn out. I wanted to write. Didn't write much. Instead ended up going down this rabbit hole of what is religion like in this village. But I guess it is important to understand, because this does determine how the villagers would react to the creature. I guess I have this final question. What does it mean for these villagers to worship the creature? What does it mean that they want to... I'm so low energy right now. I'm so low energy. I don't know what... Okay, I can't even answer this question. I'm done. I'm done. My brain is melting. My brain is just a mesh pot of thoughts and things. What do I want to do? Oh. What do I want to do? I don't even know what I'm doing. Bum bum. I think this is fine, isn't it? I think this is fine. $2026-04-29. Is it best to keep pushing myself to write a bit more every time I am tired? Or should I break him? No. I think I should just keep, because doing a little bit every time is always good, right? I think I just need to be more energetic when I do it, don't I? Like, hey, what's going on, guys? Wow! I'm worn out from that. I'm worn out from that already. That was far too tiring. I think if I had someone to talk to, I'd be fine. But right now, I am worn out. I don't know why. All I've done is not slept very well last night. Done a full day's worth of work. Been to the shop a few times. Gone and get money. Do I need to make dinner? I need to make dinner as well. God, I'm hungry. I'm really hungry right now. Oh well, I'll make dinner later. I don't need to. I'll just not be hungry. That's how it works, right? I just decide. Right, I'm not hungry now. Hungerness. The hangerness. Hangerness. Is that when you're... What's being hangry? Hangry is when you're angry because you're hungry. The hangerness. Hungry and hungerness. What is... So hungry... Hungerness is to be hungry. Hungerness is how hungry you are. Hangerness is how hangry you are. I think I've got 0 amounts of hangriness right now. I'm not hangry. You're hangry. I'm not hangry at all. What are you talking about? What? What does it mean for these villagers to worship the creature? Let's go back to this question. Let's try and answer it. So, they don't have a place of worship. To them, worship, as we understand the concept of worship, is very different. Because when someone says to me, "Oh, worship," I imagine, like going to a place, a church, a synagogue, a mosque, and performing an act of worship. Clasping your hands together in prayer, kneeling down on a mat, some form of ritual that you have to perform. But to this village, it's not that. Worship is just something that is ingrained so deeply into every aspect of their life. To wake up in the morning and go to work, to fish, to feed your family, to provide education, to provide goods, to provide charity. Just to live your life in the way that the water goddess wants you to live your life is to worship the water goddess, which is what this family does. And this village, and that's how this village believes to worship. This is the religion of Marlism. Marlism? Marlism. Who's Marl? I don't know. It's their religion, Marlism. And so this only exists because there is no physical thing that they worship. They worship the concept. But this creature introduces a physical thing. And so people will start to shift from living as the water goddess wants them to live to ritual acts near the creature. Maybe people just want to be near. Maybe it's just they want to be near to be near the creature and provide it with everything it desires. To be near the creature and provide it with everything it desires. So if they believe that giving, charity, is one of the forms of worship, they fish so they can give. They create so they can give. Charity taken to its extreme, where the villagers become charity taken to the extreme, where the villagers give endlessly to the creature. Okay. So then this results in... Let's see the cave up again. Village meeting where the three factions argue about what to do. Fighting breaks. Fighting breaks out when an agreement cannot be reached. Oh. Village tears itself apart. Oh, that's so sad. Because this feels like such a nice village from the start of it. Is that the way that it has to go? Or the way that it will go? Maybe, perhaps. The village tears itself apart. Okay, I've got ideas for scenes that I want to happen. It's going to be there's a lot of writing left on this short story. A lot of writing. Village tears itself apart. Okay. Militia. Stop anyone getting near the cave. How does this village council itself? How does this village council itself? Village leader. Village leader followed by village advisors. Village leader at the top, followed by village advisors. These can give orders to villagers. Militia of village men ordered to stop anyone getting near the cave. Okay, the creature's dormant. Oh, I've already said it's dormant. Ra discovers dormant creature that can destroy the village. The villagers learn of the creature. Worship. Action. Break through and enter the cave. In attempts to give creature all in attempts to give the creature everything they wish to give the creature all the excess that. Oh, so instead of leaving them at the feet of the statues that they would normally leave at the feet of. In attempts to give the creature all the excess that they would normally leave at the feet of the statues, they awaken the creature. Creature starts to eat people. Village forced to kill the creature. The end. Oh, so it dies. Okay, so I need to add passage into add passages showing statues of the water goddess and the tradition of leaving excess at the statues' feet. Villagers in need collect these items. Villagers in need collect these items. Then there is also humans are greedy. If there's this scenario where people are leaving things, those that do not need it will try to claim it. The village is a small community. Everyone knows the status of everyone else. To receive items that you do not need is to bring shame on your family. Yes, so as a result, some items left at the statue's feet are never claimed, and these have to be these are destroyed. Excess is the domain of the god, is a domain of darkness. Excess is the domain of evil. So they'd rather destroy some of these goods than for anyone to have excess. Is a domain of the god of darkness and is deemed evil. Excess is domain of the god of darkness and is deemed evil. Because the god of darkness is also the night, god of the night. And in the night is where all the monsters and the demons and the evil lurk. Whoa, spooky, the ghosts and the ghouls and the spectres, here to eat your brains, blah 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 blah. Just like that, they'll slurp them out. They'll come along, and they'll bite your head, and then they'll suck out your brains. Ugh, no one wants that. No one wants their brain. Well, I guess some people. Some people could probably do with having their brains sucked out. That might be for the better. But not everyone. Not the majority. Has that answered everything that I want to know? So what is a recap? Ral travels to the village. Ral identifies cave where fish came from. So we've got this. Ral discovers dormant creature that can destroy the village. Villagers learn of the creature. Ral wants to seal the cave up again. Village meetings where the three factions argue about what to do. Fighting breaks out when an agreement cannot be reached. Village tears itself apart. Militia of village men ordered to stop anyone getting near the cave. Worship faction break through and enter the cave. In attempts to give the creature all the excess they would normally leave at the feet of the cave statues, they awaken the creature. Creature starts to eat people. Village forced to kill the creature. The end. What a everything. So this is very much told from Ral's point of view, and him desperately trying to save everyone. He doesn't want people to die, and he doesn't want the creature to die, and he cannot save the creature because people are. Well, I guess people are faulty. Humanity is not a perfect... Is that a thing? I don't really know. Marlism, the worship of the five pantheon gods. As a coastal fishing village, they mainly worship the god of water. Saili, the god of water, fishing, crops, healing, education, and charity. There is no singular building of worship in the village. Instead, statues of the goddess Saili have been built around the village. People leave offerings of excess materials and food at the base of the statues, and others who are less fortunate to obtain them for themselves. To perform any act of activity. To perform any act of activity belonging to the goddess's domain is viewed as an act of worship. Worship is not something that villagers do at a specific time. Worship is engraved into their very lives. The village is a small community. Everyone knows the status of everyone else. To receive items that you do not need is to bring shame upon your family. As a result, some items left at the statue's feet are never claimed, and these are destroyed. Excess is the domain of the god of darkness and is deemed evil. So gods existed in the world 3,000 years ago. Magic is real, very rare, passed down the bloodline in prominent families. Artifacts of great power created by the gods exist. The village has never seen one. No one with magic lives in the village. Legends say that the gods brought magic. Science is underdeveloped. Cottage industry. There was a local council run by school until the age of 10. All villagers donate to the school. Teachers are paid by these donations. Village leaders are top, followed by village advisors. These can give orders to villagers. Okay, I think that's everything that I would have done planning-wise. Let's move that down. And let's... Oh, how do I do the thing where you like insert... break? Page break? Okay, there, that's all the way down there. All the way. How many words are we at with the story? 1,436. Really? Wow. I didn't realize there was that many. I thought it was going to be a few hundred. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Oh, progress is far slower than I would like, though. I'd love it if I had the mental capacity right now just to write and write and write, but I don't. But I'm hoping that I'll get back there one day. I'll reach that point again, and I shall be able to just write and write and write. I was doing like 4,000 words a day at one point. That was a good times. What do I need to... I just need to... Maybe just lifestyle change. Lifestyle change, I'll get back into it. One day. One day. But for now, I'm going to go get some dinner. Because I've got an appointment with someone else. To do something else. Woo. Woo. Oh. I'm looking forward to writing the rest of the story. I'm looking forward to finishing it. This is feeling like feels like a fun one to write. A bit of a dark story, but they all are. They all are. All the stories with Raoul always have some sort of weird plot point to them. But we shall see. We shall see next time.